If you're watching this screencast, you should be sitting at a seat that has this paper in front of you with your name on it. You're going to be doing a review and taking some notes on what makes up a prepositional phrase, an infinitive. You're going to work on reviewing your linking verbs and your prepositions. And then you're going to do a little assessment over imposters and finding subjects and verbs. So as I go through the presentation, you're going to be taking some notes here. All right, so we're going to recap. What is a preposition versus an infinitive? So a prepositional phrase, and on your paper, you're copying down that they always start with a preposition. A preposition is one of those words that we memorized on our cheat sheet. We studied list 1 and list 2, and we can always look back at that list when we need to. They're allowed to have modifiers in the middle, but don't write this one down because they're not always there. What I want you to write down at the end is that you have to have a noun. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea, and it can be replaced by a pronoun. So on your notes, you're writing down that a prepositional phrase is a preposition plus a noun. And the thing that we need to really, really remember is that you cannot have a verb in a prepositional phrase. Now let's take notes on infinitives. An infinitive always starts with the same word, to. And it's confusing because to can also be a preposition, but it's not if it's followed by a verb. To plus a verb is an infinitive. And to think of it's a verb, it's something that you're asking yourself, can you do it? To run, can you run? If you can say yes, then that's a verb, and that's an infinitive. If I said to the store, my next word after to is the. Can you the? The is not a verb, so that's not an infinitive. For our linking verbs, we have a set that are just kind of our first randoms, am, is, are. Then we have two that begin with a W, was, and were. And then we have three that begin with a B, be, being, and been. If you want to try doing this without looking at this paper, or without looking at the presentation, you can pause the screencast and then try it on your own and see how you do. The next set of 5 go with the mnemonic grabs. One begins with a G, grow, remain, appear, become, and seem. And then the last set go with our 5 senses. Those are look, feel, smell, sound, and taste. Now, if you don't have all of these copied down, you need to pause the screencast so that you give yourself enough time to write them down. On the next screen, I put the prepositions that you're going to need to use for this activity that you're going to do. But if you can think of some other prepositions, I want you to list them here. So I'm going to just, from the top of my head, think about what are some other prepositions that I know. I remember there were a bunch from the A list. Around, above the table. That makes me think of below, on, inside, to and toward, through, throughout. So I want you to list as many as you can think of, but make sure that you have these in, about, from, over, on, after, and to, because these are the ones that you're going to need as you do this page. You're going to do lesson 2D today, and our theme today is about zombies. And you're going to do this today. You can do the first 5 together, and then the last 5 is going to be an assessment. And we're going to be moving on to a new lesson next week. So you need to make sure you really think about crossing out those imposters and thinking about how you find your verb and thinking about what you ask to find your subject. Okay, so that's your task for right now. Would you stop?